So good news, everyone. Genocide Joe unveiled his three-stage plan for a ceasefire yesterday. It sounded a lot like the one the Palestinian resistance put forward only 3 weeks ago. And he claims that he arrived at the plan in coordination with the Zionist regime, except that today Netanyahu offhandedly rejected the plan. So, not sure what's going on there. Stealing Ali Abu Ni'ma's words from Electronic Intifada, Israel has adamantly rejected its own offer to itself and is now cutting off negotiations and diplomatic relations with itself in order to send itself a strong message. Israel will not surrender to Israel's terms. So, what's going on? We thought that Genocide Joe and Genocide Yahoo were coordinating. No, Genocide Joe released his plan because elections are coming and he wants to tell his Arab and Muslim voters, look, I tried to stop this. It's not me, it's Netanyahu, who is unwaveringly determined to drag his terrorist army deeper and deeper into the mud of Gaza. The Zionist entity is being defeated in every way possible. Militarily, the only thing they can do is bomb tent shelters and civilians, kill women and children, while the Palestinian resistance keeps picking away at the Israeli diaper forces. In the realm of public opinion, nobody believes their lies anymore. A recent UN report found zero evidence of any form of sexual violence on October 7th, after watching tens of hours of video footage of the Hamas attack into occupied Palestine, and after determined calls for victims of sexual violence, if any, to come forth. Not a single victim. It was a spurious claim from the outset, meant to legitimize the genocide to come. Strategically, Israel's aim is not to save the hostages or even destroy Hamas. Their aim is to ethnically cleanse Gaza. After 8 months of horrific massacres and apocalyptic destruction by the Israeli Nazi forces, and because of incredible Palestinian resistance and sumud, steadfastness, the Zionist goal remains out of reach. But it's not just Netanyahu. The latest Pew Research poll conducted in March and early April shows that only 4% of Zionist settlers think that their government has gone too far in their war on Gaza. 96% of these Zionist settlers, I don't want to even call them Israeli Jews because honestly it's an offense to Judaism and any good Jewish people with us here today. Let's just call them Zionist settlers. 96% of these Zionist settlers think that 15,000 children killed in Gaza, 10,000 women, 10,000 men killed, is not enough, or just about right. This is not just a genocidal prime minister, or a genocidal administration, or a genocidal government, or a genocidal army. It's a genocidal society, a genocidal state. Yeah, the only democracy in the Middle East. Now, every human has an inherent right to exist, but no state has an inherent right to exist. In 1967, following pressure from the Arab League, a large number of countries in the Eastern Bloc at the time, who were allied with the Soviet Union, cut off relations with Israel. It's entirely possible and necessary that this happen again. Until today, the legitimacy of the Israeli state has been made possible only by the successive Zionist American administrations and their satellites, the UK, France, Germany, and Canada. These are outright racist governments willing to recognize Israel's right to exist as a supremacist Zionist state, as they insist that this illegal state should continue to benefit from its ethnic cleansing of the Palestinian people from 1948 onwards, and be allowed to maintain its battery of racist laws and institutions. As Columbia professor Joseph Mas'ad says in his latest article in the Middle East Eye, the anti-racists are in fact those who support the dismantlement of Israel's racist system and advocate for one decolonized state from the river to the sea, in which everyone living within it is equal before the law and does not benefit from any racial, ethnic, or religious privileges. It's not a radical left agenda to ask for this. It's not communist. It's not, pro-Hamas or whatever the latest label is that they try to smear us with. It's just a basic, decent, human suggestion. So when UN member states recognize a phantasmic Palestinian state, one that's devoid of any sovereignty, one that's ruled currently by a proxy for the Israeli occupation, all they are doing is buttressing Israel's illegality as a racist state. What they need to do is not recognize a Palestinian state, but withdraw the recognition of Israel. Only that will lead to a decolonized, anti-racist, and democratic outcome. Of course, so-called Canada will be one of the last countries to delegitimize Israel, because when Canada sees genocide, Canada goes, that's how you do it, right? That's how you establish a state. You kill off the savages, push them into the reservations. I don't understand what the whole commotion is about. What's going on, guys? This is Canada. So, friends, until our government learns how to deal with the ghost of genocide past and the ghost of genocide present, let's learn how we can deal with it ourselves. So, if you haven't started already, please start today. Stop saying Israel like it's a normal country. Say the Zionist entity, or the terrorist state of Israel, or the illegal state of Israel. And if you're referring to the land currently occupied by the terrorist state of Israel, please refer to it as occupied Palestine. And if you're referring to the people occupying the land, stop saying Israelis or Jews like that. It's really an offense to Jews, to decent Jews out there. Start saying Zionist settlers, or simply settlers. We should be aware that there are anti-Zionist settlers in occupied Palestine, a tiny minority, but they do exist nevertheless. So speak up for Palestine and use the right terminology. Don't be afraid to offend. The conservatives and the fanatics out there love their freedom of speech, right? So say it loud and say it clear. Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
From the river to the sea!
From the river to the sea!
Palestine will be free!
Palestine will be free!
And from the sea to the river!
From the sea to the river!
Palestine will live forever!
Palestine will live forever!
1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Occupation no more!
Occupation no more!
5, 6, 7, 8.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Israel is a terrorist state!
Israel is a terrorist state!
Free Palestine, thank you!